Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the kind of game-changing news that Blizzard posted about 40 minutes ago regarding boosting communities. So, for anyone who doesn't know yet, boosting communities are now banned. You can no longer, participate in a boosting community. You can no longer run a boosting community, even if you're just doing stuff for gold. That's been an area of contention in the past where places like Gallywix, if anyone remembers the old Gallywix boosting community, the reason that whole thing got shut down is because while the majority of people were doing stuff in there just for gold, the people at the very, very top were selling that gold for real money, and so the whole thing got shut down because of our RMT. So since Gallywix, there have been multiple other boosting communities that come out that have been working hand in hand with Blizzard, and giving them like ledgers and stuff to show exactly where every piece of gold is going, in an attempt to prove that their boosting community is just for gold. Starting today, that doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter if you're just doing it for gold. You can't do it. So I'm going to read this blue post real quick, and then I'd like to start a bit of a discussion on what you guys think the pros and cons of this are. So first off, let me just say that I know that it's a pretty controversial topic between people, boosting in general. A lot of people really, really like it, especially those at the higher end, the people doing the boosts who are benefiting from it, getting a bunch of the gold, right? And a lot of people really, really dislike it. And depending on where you fall on that spectrum, this could be really, really good news for you or really, really bad news for you. And I wanted to talk about some of the pros and cons. So first off, let's start by just reading the blue post to see exactly what they're talking about. Okay, so as the conditions change by which various entities operate in World of Warcraft, we are compelled to update our policies to further our goal of making the gameplay experience as fair and welcoming as possible. Since we last updated our policies, we have found that an increasing disturbance of the gameplay experience has been caused by organizations excessively advertising various non-traditional services in-game. So everyone can attest to this. I think this is a universal experience playing World of Warcraft. If you go to the LFG and you click on Dungeons and then you open it up, you'll see tons and tons and tons that just say Mythic plus 15, selling Mythic plus 15, pay me gold and I'll take you through a 15, right? And there's just tons and tons and tons of them. And it feels like no matter what you do, if you right click, report, hundreds and hundreds every day, nothing ever changes. It feels like that has been an issue for a long, long time, at least since like Legion, since Mythic Plus became a thing, right? So I think that they're completely right that it has been excessive, like they say right here, excessively advertising. I think that's dead on. I think the advertising, especially in LFG, where people are trying to find groups that they can like play with versus just buying sales, I think it's very detrimental to have those advertising groups in LFG. So I think that they're right that that is a problem. As of today, we will now prohibit organizations who offer boosting, matchmaking, escrow, or other non-traditional services, including those offered for gold. So this hits boosting communities specifically, but also there are other places that there are some Discord servers you can join where they'll give you gold on a certain server and you give them gold on a different server, that kind of thing. For like a fee, you pay like 1,000,000 gold on, let's say, Illidan, and they'll give you 900,000 gold on like Turalyon or something. That kind of service is also banned, even though there's no real money involved, it's just for gold, right? You also can't do that anymore. World of Warcraft accounts found to be in violation of this policy are subject to account actions. These actions can include warnings, account suspensions, and, if necessary, you get banned. Permanent closure of the disruptive World of Warcraft accounts. Organizations operating across multiple realms and excessively advertising non-traditional in-game sales, which is kind of an interesting way to phrase it, are contrary to the terms and conditions of the Blizzard end-user license agreement. This policy update does not restrict individuals or guilds from using the provided in-game tools, specifically the trade channel in Trade Chat, to buy or sell in-game items or activities for in-game currency. However, boosting communities, in quotes, especially those who operate across multiple realms, are no longer permitted. We urge all such organizations to cease doing business in World of Warcraft immediately in order to maintain uninterrupted access to the game. So, there are some interesting things here. First off, this paragraph where they talk about it not restricting individuals or guilds from using trade chat to advertise is kind of interesting. I wonder, like, why... So, they've made a stance in the past that putting groups in the group finder specifically to sell boosts has been against the rules for a long time, not just today. It's been, you're not supposed to be doing that. And there have been bans. I know people who have been banned for doing that. So it's not like they haven't been punishing it. It's just that the problem has gotten so big, right, that now they're making this change. But I'm interested as to why and how this paragraph is going to work, because what's to stop a community from having a Discord server that's just not front-facing, right, that the public can't see, but they can all hang out in and figure everything out, right? And then just assigning advertisers to, like, specific realms or specific guilds type of thing, right? And so I can see, I mean, you could probably, like, track guild bank transfers and things to make sure, because that's one way that boosting communities really, like, get their gold across to different realms and things. But I worry that this paragraph specifically is going to leave a lot of ambiguity, and it's going to end up with some people getting banned for doing something that they're not doing wrong, right? And other people sliding under the radar who are doing something that's contrary to the terms and conditions of the EULA, right? So, as far as the other downsides of this, if you're on a dead realm, for instance, like Rivendare or something, like Turalyon even, my old realm, this is going to be pretty bad for you, I think. And if you're on like a really popular realm, like Illidan or Mal'Ganis or any of those really big realms, then I don't know if this is going to, if you're a booster specifically, I mean, then I don't know if this is going to hurt you too bad, especially if you're in a guild that already has a hand in this type of sale behavior, right? Most Hall of Fame guilds and above already have an officer who's been working with boosting communities, and so it'll be easy for them to just be like, okay, well, now we're going to have that officer become a sales officer in our guild, and the sales officer is just going to be in charge of like advertising and finding buyers for boosts, right? So as far as the very, very top end, I don't think this is going to change too much. Obviously, it's going to make like consistency a lot harder, because you're not going to be able to like find, you're not, so the big thing from a boosting community that's beneficial for a selling guild is that they can cast a huge net, right? They have like tons and tons of advertisers who are talking to people all the time to find potential buyers, right? Whereas if your guild is doing it by themselves now, unless you're like a really, really popular guild, like Liquid or Echo or something, who get a lot of people coming to them for sales organically because they're so good, right? Then the amount of people that your sales officer or even anyone else who wants to advertise for your guild are going to be talking to is going to be significantly lower, right? Which means that if you've been having like a Mythic Sylve buyer every week for the last, 3 months, that might change to where you only get one every so often these days, because there's way more competition now, because every guild is going to be, trying to find trying to find buyers on your server, right? And then 2, you're just going to be talking to less people, right? It's going to be, you have less of a net, right? You're not throwing out as big of a net, so it's going to be harder to find those buyers. As far as the other side is concerned, being a buyer, right? Because I have a lot of experience being a booster. I've done sales for a long, long time to make gold. But as far as being a buyer goes, things are going to change drastically as well. It's going to make a buyer's life harder, question mark, because one, having boosting communities has made a kind of standardized market where prices are similar across the boosting communities. 2, it's been really easy to find sellers, right? To find people who will sell boosts, because you can just, you're like, oh, I know that there's Weekly Disappointment or there's Huacon or whatever, you go to their Discord server and it's like no work for the buyer. You just type in there, hey, I want a 15, and instantly you'll have 3 guys DMing you saying, hey, I'll get you a 15, right? And with boosting communities going away, it's going to mean that for a buyer to actually find a boost like that, you're going to have to find somebody, and I think this is part of the reason why Blizzard wants to do this. You're going to have to like go out there and interact with people in the game on your server to find those people, right? You're going to be talking in trade chat. Somebody's going to be spamming, as always, spamming selling plus 15s for gold, hit me up, and you're going to have to message them, hey man, what's going on? I want a 15, and then you go from there. I can see a lot of problems with that. Again, like I said, being on a dead server is going to make this really, really bad for those kinds of people, because you're not going to be able to buy boosts from groups of people that have like multiple realms. So like, for instance, if you were on Terralion back in the day, and there are like maybe, 5 or 6 push groups on Terralion who are like actually, doing 23s, 24s or whatever, you don't have a ton of people to choose from who can sell you a plus 15 boost, right? Whereas if you're on Illidan or something really, really big, it's going to be super easy because there's going to be tons and tons of people on that server who are looking to sell boosts, right? So it won't be so hard. So it's going to be, I worry that this might also amplify the problem of the popular realms becoming more popular and the less popular realms will become less popular, right? Because if you're a player who likes to buy boosts to gear up your characters, or to maybe you've got a lot of real life money, so you buy a lot of tokens, and you don't like spending so much time going out and grinding all the gear and everything, you just want to have the mount, the KSM mount, or you want to get the Mythic Sylvanas mount or whatever, or you want the achievements, or you want the prestige, right, or whatever. Maybe you're the type of player who is going to get hurt by this really, really bad, especially if you're on, like a dead server, like I said. So it's an interesting stance for sure, and I'm really interested to see how this evolves over time. And again, like I said, I worry that this paragraph specifically is going to lead to too much ambiguity where, like I said, some people are going to get banned for reasons that they shouldn't, and other people won't get banned when they should in reality. So I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts. All in all, what I think that my personal opinion is this. So like I said, the LFG groups where people are spamming an LFG saying, buy my 15, I think those have been a plague on the game for a long time, like a couple years. Really, really, really hate it. And I've been like very almost OCD about like right-clicking and reporting on them every single time I see them. And take it from me, nothing ever happens, right? I'm sure that they catch some people and they're banning some accounts and everything, but overall, it has not changed as a whole for years, right? This has been a problem for a long, long time. And so I think that it's really, really good that they're trying to address that problem specifically. However, I worry that, like I said, so Discord communities, big old boosting communities that work across multiple realms and that are all take place on a Discord server, and they've got tons and tons of channels where they're selling boosts and everything. I think that has been a super, super cool emergent gameplay loop, right? I think it's really, really cool that in an MMO like this, where it's all about working with other people, I think that it's been really, really cool that these big like businesses, corporations basically have evolved, where you've got people who are developing software for them. You've got people who are basically accountants for them. You've got people who are running administration. You've got like HR people inside these communities. They're like a full-blown business basically. And I think that's super, super cool that you can build this basically like a business that revolves around the game. I think that the issue with those, though, as Blizzard is kind of addressing, is that all of that stuff is taking place outside of the game. And they're trying to kind of bring it all back into the game. So I think it's really, really sad, and I'm going to miss going into those Discord communities and being like, like looking at the spreadsheets and going through all the different numbers and the ledgers and everything and seeing how everything's working. So I'm gonna miss that part. So I think it's sad that we have to lose that part in order to address the LFG problem. But I also think that you know, overall, I don't think it's going to hurt me too much, so I'm not too worried about it. I think as far as the health of the game goes, I think it's probably a good thing. It's hard to say though, because yeah, I mean it's a tough one, right? There's pros and cons for sure. I'm really interested to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments down below. If you liked the video, make sure you click the like button. If you really liked it, feel free to subscribe. Maybe share it with your friends. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!